Daniel Dalen.
Daniel Dalen.
Daniel Dalen.
Daniel Dalen.
Who is Daniel Dalen, the guy that went to China at 12 years old?
Popular YouTuber Daniel Dalen, who you probably already know.
Yeah, that's exactly what Daniel Dalen did.
And I've been grinding for us.
Do you really need a POV to get views? Hi everybody, my name is Dragoš Bahov and today is a special episode because today we are gonna talk about the POV people. Who are the POV people, you might ask? They have appeared in my recommended tab for quite a while now, and it all starts with one individual. His name is Daniel Dalen. My god, my room looks so boring, so let's fix it up, okay? So who is this Daniel Dalen guy? Let's talk about him. In his description, you can find a lot of information. At the age of 16, I made the decision to drop out of school and follow my passion for problem solving as a freelancer. My curiosity led me all the way to China, where I immersed myself in the study of Mandarin and Cantonese Chinese. So this guy drops out of school at 16, he becomes a freelancer, then he decides to spawn all the way to China. Very interesting experience. So now he's on a mission to share all of his learnings and experiences with you. Join him as he shares his story, documenting everything along the way, inspiring the next generation to chase their dreams. Does it sound true? Does it not sound true? Whatever, it doesn't really matter. What we know is that he's a very popular guy. His videos definitely work. He has a nice audience. His most popular video actually has more than 800,000 views. That's not little, that's a lot. He has a very fat POV in all of his videos. POV in his style, POV behind his back. All jokes aside, I used to be a very big fan of him. Let's actually check it out.
We're getting such little sleep these last few weeks, man. 服务员，哎，你好，我要个 cappuccino。
一杯卡布。
对，一杯。
He just talks about coffee and
stories in there, so it's Instagram as well / Facebook.
Okay, look, he talks about 2 minutes, I know, about coffee or whatever in China. Then he instantly proceeds to go to an Apple store to buy his team some stuff.
Yeah, thanks, boss. Thank you. Says the last one.
Of course.
Yeah,
of course.
Thank you.
Yeah, anyway, so he buys his team equipment and then they finally get to some deep work. From 1 p.m. all the way to 8:30 p.m. he does some work. Now, the problem with this video is that he doesn't actually talk to us about what his business implies. What did you work on for the past 7 hours and 30 minutes? Comments definitely reflect that. I mean, great to see how much you care about your team and how you actually take care of them. Could be cool to extend the learnings and knowledge from within your industry into a more general outlook. I'm curious why not once you mention anything related to your business. It's literally impossible to tell what you do. I also find it interesting how much time you can spend away from your business in a video that's meant to be about doing business. It really does feel like the video is your business. This video is supposedly titled POV, you're a 26-year-old online entrepreneur doing business in China, but then out of this video entirely, you don't really have a lot of information about what he actually does. He has some coffee in the morning, when he goes to an Apple store, then supposedly he talks to his team, then maybe he has some work, but then the rest of the video is sights of him going to Dubai, business class flights to Hong Kong, vintage watch dealer. What this video really is about is more a POV of expensive life of a 26-year-old guy that has a lot of money and doesn't really explain how he has that money. Despite all of this, maybe this video is just supposed to look classy and cool and not everything is supposed to be about business. That's cool. Well, then in that case, why aren't any of his videos really about what he actually does? You see all these videos about POV, a week as a 26-year-old entrepreneur in Hong Kong, or POV, you're traveling to China to meet potential business partners. Oh, and this is the most interesting part. POV, you're an entrepreneur that is running an 8-figure company at 26. By the way, just as a comma, an 8-figure company, as a 26-year-old, he runs a $10 million valued company. Obviously, people are gonna click on that because they are interested. What's your perspective? How do you actually do it? Every single thing has a POV behind his back, and every single thing talks about him doing something crazy in China or in Hong Kong. If you go onto LinkedIn and if you try to find what he actually does, he supposedly has for companies. Let's go through each of them. So the first company was founded in 2020. Its name is Pabel. With this company, Daniel noticed that others struggle with receiving a proper packaging design briefing. It's basically a company that is supposed to help users with their packaging problems. You want to put your product into a package, you go to Daniel Dalen and he'll help you out. He adds words like SaaS application using machine learning. SaaS application is basically software as a service application. Instead of the company actually doing it themselves, they have an application that helps the user. They are being helped with their packaging. So barcodes, etc., nutritional values. You have some kind of, I don't know, nutty bar. You put some nutritional value tags onto it and they help you with the packaging. Now, if you go onto the website / the page of the company, you'll find a link. I tried to open this link and it just doesn't work. It doesn't load for some reason. I don't know why, but this company has almost no information about it. Whether it's actually working or not, it sounds like a possible idea, like it sounds like an okay idea. But the actual company is not really present anywhere. There isn't much information about it. So it's a big issue for me. On to his second company. Blank Studio is a company that he started in February 2023. What does Blank Studio do? That's a very good question. According to them, Blank Studio is a venture studio that builds community-based digital products. They figure out what communities want and give it to them. What those communities are or who those communities represent, they don't really state anything. What they state though is that they partner up with companies to add new revenue lines by building AI-enhanced products. Mobile apps with community, adding millions of dollars in revenue and billions in market cap. It sounds like cap to me. Again, if you go onto their website and if you try to find more information about them, you'll be met with more or less the same situation as the previous company. So the first thing you'll see is that, okay, maybe their website actually loads up, but on the website, you'll see a very nice looking minimalist font that he also uses in his videos. Then a contact us button. I try to press on it and it doesn't really mean anything. They just lead you to an email. When it comes to information about the company itself or what it doesn't really provide anything. It just says that the company works with creators, whatever that means, and that basically the company is founded by Daniel Dalen. There isn't really anything based on that company. I mean, there is no information, there is nothing to talk about. What they do provide though is they have two more links. One link is to join them, supposedly. You'll get a form which you can complete and then join their team. You also have the community button. If you press the community button, you'll get sent to a school.com page built by apparently Daniel Dalen. If you look at this community, you'll find essentially nothing. He talks about building your personal brand and he talks about creator companies. He just uses the same buzzwords that he used in the actual page on the Blank Studio website. There is not really anything useful or remotely useful on this page. So the first company sounds like BS. The second company doesn't sound much better, despite the fact that they have a working website, right? What about the third company? The last company is totally different. At least it sounds way more legit in my opinion. It's called Ecomflow. Launched in August 2023, it's supposed to help businesses improve their logistics. So if you're a company and you need help, Daniel Dalen has connections in China that can help you ship your products faster to your customers. That's a win-win for both the business that works with Daniel Dalen and Daniel Dalen as a result because he gets the money. It at least sounds legit. If you go onto their page, you'll first of all find a website that actually works, ecomflow.com, and it actually provides information about what this business is. It has FAQs, it has jobs, contacts, partners. The only problem that I have with this website / this company in general is that they list a lot of top brands, which according to them are top. But if you search some of these brands on Google, you'll find that not all of these brands are trusted. A good example is Iconic. I googled it up. I googled Iconic up, and the first thing that I found is that they have a terrible Trustpilot review. Is Daniel Dalen legit? or is he not legit? Does he sound trustworthy? I cannot find an actual answer, and that's the problem, because on one side he has some very shady businesses, but on the other side he also has some strong points that favor him. First of all, the guy doesn't try to sell you anything, and that's very important. He sounds like he just wants to make good content and post it online, unlike other people / creators who try to manipulate you nowadays. And while he does have some very specific parts that I dislike, he sounds at least trustworthy. At least he doesn't lie about what he does, especially the Ecom company. He does give some information or some background onto what this company actually does. It's not like he doesn't provide any information at all. For example, in one of his videos, he shows the warehouse or the big storage place that he uses to deliver all the products and work with the brands / businesses that he works with. So it's definitely legit. At least the last company sounds more believable. Another thing is his content. Why do you need a POV behind every single video of yours? POV, you are traveling to China to meet potential business partners. Or POV, you are a 26-year-old entrepreneur online doing business in China, whatever. POV, you are a 26-year-old entrepreneur at a business partner's wedding in India. Do you feel like you wouldn't have any kind of views if you don't have the POV behind your back? At least that's my question. It definitely worked as a formula, and he proved it by having 800,000 views on his video. At the same time, I feel like some parts of his videos aren't exactly transparent. I used to be a very big fan of Daniel Dalen, particularly because the videos are very flashy. They look extremely good, they are very well color corrected, they have very good fonts, very good everything. The camera quality is just good, the shots are good, the montage is good, everything is good. The problem is that there is not much transparency in the videos. He builds his narrative in a very interesting way. He presents himself as this kid that did a lot of entrepreneurship, 4,000 days of entrepreneurship to be exact, in one of his videos. He talks about how he started learning Chinese, how he developed himself, how he worked as a person, trying to create this background that he also came from a very small / humble beginning. Is that really true though? One of the main key points that I was very weirded by is that at 16 he decides to fly to China. Not every single person gets to have that privilege / opportunity. I don't think it's very cheap to fly to China if you're a Dutch person. Even if you fly to China, what reason do you have to stay there? You don't know the language, you don't know anything. Being immersed in that environment is a very big privilege. He did have that privilege because his parents, especially his dad, from what he mentioned, is a fashion designer. His parent traveled to China for some business meetings. As a result, he traveled because his dad was traveling as well. He did have that advantage that many people do not have. When it comes to his companies, especially the start, is very strange. In order to develop a company like Ecom, you need a lot of connections. You need a lot of power. You need a lot of knowledge about business. For you to do that, you need to have failed at least a couple of businesses. Those two businesses that I did mention at the start sound like those failed businesses. However, how do you have capital and forces and enough money to build that Ecom business after failing those two businesses so miserably? I wouldn't be able to recover from that so easily. And that's what doesn't make sense. I don't really understand what his backstory is or how he got to the point where his business is so successful, to the point where he has an 8-figure company, which he very proudly mentions over and over again. POV, 26-year-old entrepreneur scaling an 8-figure company in public. POV, you're a 26-year-old founder networking with millionaires. POV, craziest week of my life as a 26-year-old 8-figure entrepreneur. What is strange here is that he explains how he has this amazing life, flying to China, doing Apple Store checkups all the time, meeting up with random teammates, having this interesting team, buying a warehouse. You don't explain how you got to that point. You don't provide enough information about that. I want to hear more about this. What is your background information? Whether he's legit or not doesn't matter. He does try to do some good things to people. He's not trying to sell anything. He's trying to help people out. It's very good. However, there are a lot of copycats that have seen this POV trend shoot up. You got 800,000 views on a video. You repeat that video idea and you keep doing the POV videos. People are gonna wanna replicate that style because it looks good. People enjoy that. They wanna replicate that. They wanna live your life. They wanna have that amazing Daniel Dalen POV. A lot of people will do that. I have found a lot of channels that tried to replicate Daniel Dalen's content, or at least the idea behind it. Some of them are good, some of them are bad, obviously. But why do you need that POV? The first guy that I want to talk about, his name is Kwong. He has a lot of videos, 21 videos. He has 21 videos. Out of those 21 videos, 80% of them are with him being half naked. Because the first thing that an entrepreneur does, he has a lot of abs and a very tan figure. And he doesn't wear any clothes for most of his day, except maybe shorts. Obviously, he also has to be in Thailand or any other very, very tropical looking island. The first video that he made, POV, you are a 21-year-old entrepreneur building an agency in Bali. After that, all these videos replicated the Daniel Dalen style. One of his videos, the most interesting one, and I'll probably react to it, is quote-unquote my story from construction worker to entrepreneur. He talks about his path from the age of 19 being a construction worker to the age of 21 being an entrepreneur in Thailand and having a lot of expensive stuff.
Today I'm going to tell you about my exact story, how I went from a construction worker to now being 21 years old, traveling the world, making stupid money online.
He makes stupid money online, bro.
I had one of the best childhoods growing up. I lived in a nice area. My parents always supported me with whatever I wanted to do, as long as I gave it my best, which made it super easy to be comfortable. It wasn't until I was 18 and I had a mindset shift where I truly found what I was passionate about, building and scaling businesses that have an impact on the world. I had to bring my creativity into it. That's why videography was the perfect catalyst to getting me to where I wanted to go.
So bro talks about this deep lore about how he wanted to become this amazing businessman. What's your business of choice to make a very big impact in the world? Obviously videography. Look, in all defense, videography is not a bad thing. It's very nice. It's a required service. Many people need it. But will it change the world? Probably not, right?
I had a hard childhood, so it made being successful completely my own decision. I had nothing that was really driving me to do that, so unknowingly I put myself into a position that forced me to chase success. I feel like if I didn't go into a construction work and I decided to go to university, I would not be where I am today. Why? Because I'd simply be too comfortable in university and my situation wouldn't be bad enough to make a change. Let's go back to the start.
Why do you need all these zooms? God damn it. Like, why at every single stop you zoom it in, zoom it out? For what reason?
When I was 18, fresh out of high school, I started full-time as a construction worker. I fucking hated it. Digging holes, being at the bottom of the food chain, and worst of all, building someone else's dream. But how did I actually get there? It's because I decided to take the lazy route. I simply chose the easy path. When it came to my closing years of high school, I didn't put enough time, effort, or thought into what I actually wanted to do and had zero ambition. So I ended up as a construction worker. I simply wasn't bothered to take the time to figure out what I was truly passionate about.
Man, a lot of buzzwords, a lot of everything, a lot of water, let's say, and nothing actually substantial. You've been talking for 1 minute and 30 seconds and you haven't talked to me about what you want to develop, what you want to work on, what changed in your life for you to develop your skills to not be a construction worker but was lazy all his life and become an entrepreneur that is actually self-sustainable, has enough money to pay rent and has enough money to not die of hunger, and also has a lot of money enough to go to Dubai and Hawaii and Japan and whatever. Those things are very expensive. How do you have money for that? From a construction worker to an entrepreneur, this is just leading people on. It's not good.
But I only came to this realization 6 months into the job. I stumbled across Iman Gaji, and for the very first time in my life, I felt motivated to be successful.
Okay, bro casually mentions Iman Gaji. When it comes to Daniel Dalen, he does actually work on businesses. This guy has nothing legit about him. I honestly don't understand what he does or what he works on. This is inspiring, this works, this whatever. What do you actually do? What do you actually work on? What is your main source of revenue? Could you please explain that to me? I would be very interested in seeing that. Just talk to me. I checked all of his pages out. I went to his Instagram page. I went to all of his other pages and they all seem very, very bizarre. His page on Instagram starts by presenting his media company, NITID Media. He films people going to the gym. That's one thing. He films people going to villas. That's another thing. I mean, that's cool. Calisthenics content. It sounds very shady. You start your story as somebody that did construction work or was drinking a lot, and in 2 years you went on to become somebody that's very, very successful. That's not something that realistically can happen. Just to settle down expectations for most people. He does have so many videos in which he talks about his story, his path. His most recent video, for example, what actually takes to be a top 1% content creator. Most people think they know what it takes to make it as a creator, until you spend a week living with the top 1% of the industry. In this video, I break down the 5 biggest lessons I learned from staying in a villa in Uluwatu, Bali. My god, that's the reason why you haven't been successful all this time. You just haven't spent enough time in the villa in Uluwatu, Bali. You should have spent more time with the 20 plus of the world's top 1% content creators. That's when you would have had more success. You just don't know what it takes to make it as a creator. I like how the top comment is just some great advice, but a lot of it was based on being in a villa full of 21 other creators, which not everyone can relate to. Next video, could you provide how you found ways to connect with other like-minded people, or how you ended up where you are? What this guy has is he has a lot of, I don't know how he even has the capital to make it. Supposedly he has this interesting backstory in which he was a construction worker. He instantly, 6 months into the construction worker journey, he found Imangaji, and then he started doing videography, and then he just changed his life. Now he's a content creator that's documenting the journey and adding POV behind all of his titles and his thumbnails as well. Look, it's totally understandable if you do some kind of labor job. It's fine. Some people do need money. Some people do need that capital initially to make it out there. What doesn't make it realistic is for you to say that you started as a construction worker, but at the same time on Instagram for you to post photos of you at concerts being half naked, or posting photos with you in Tokyo. This page doesn't look like somebody that was a construction worker. You definitely had something else that was going for you. Don't settle or don't try to create this unrealistic expectation slash story that you are somebody that started from the bottom and then got onto the top. What you are trying to do is manipulate people into believing that they can also do the exact same thing. I'll give you the benefit of the doubt though. Despite the fact that you try to follow Imangaji or that you are trying to flex on people, at least you do not sell anybody anything. You're not selling any course. And that's good enough. But definitely I believe that this guy is more likely a fraud. Now, Hamza Shaaban. His channel is more interesting. He's a 17-year-old documenting his journey as an athlete. He hasn't posted as many videos as the Kwong guy, and his videos aren't as aesthetic, as pleasing, as crazy, but he is more realistic. He's more honest with what his videos are. One of the videos that blew up, POV, went all in for 2 months. So he copied the POV style videos from Daniel Dalen. He had this POV thumbnails. Now he created this I want all in for 2 months video. Let's just watch it because it's actually good.
There's something strange, almost peaceful, about knowing you're going to die one day. I know, we're not supposed to say that out loud. We spend so much of our lives pretending it's not true, chasing things that don't matter, obsessing over people who don't care.
A guy definitely puts the FIFA gameplay there. I mean, that's cool.
But one day, whether it's tomorrow or 60 years from now, I will no longer be on this earth. And when that day comes, all the opinions that paralyzed me, all the judgments that made me play small, will vanish like smoke.
What he does is essentially he also tries to document his business process and how his business works. I like his videos much more because he's more transparent. So there are definitely some good copycats of Daniel Dalen as well. He documents it way better. He's not making it sound like he made it out basically from nothing, right? First of all, he does tell you like, look, this is how my business works, I'm failing currently, it's not going well. This part of the journey that most people are trying to skip and is not present, for example, in Daniel Dalen's videos or in this Kwong guy's videos, it's present in Hamza Shaaban's videos, which is why I kind of vibe with the guy. He says that his business is based on copywriting. At first, when you start out, you are a no one, so you have to build up your portfolio with brands and businesses so that they can trust you. He was cold calling businesses to offer free custom built websites, and these businesses haven't really worked with him yet properly. He's failing at what he does. His business is not doing exactly well, and he presents that in the video. He's transparent about it. He tries to settle expectations, and he's not afraid to show that he's failing, which is good. You can't just become somebody right away. You have to walk through the process. It's tough, it's painful, but it makes sense at least. A person who watches you will support you sooner or later because they understand that you're working hard towards your goals, and they will also want to do that. They'll be inspired by you in that case. Not in the case where you just end up in a villa in Bali and talk to 20 other top creators to become successful. The coolest part about his content is that he blew up only after he removed the POV from his titles or from his stuff. He used to copy straight up Daniel Dalen. Now he's not doing that anymore. He started working on his own original content, and it actually does well. He posted this video that blew up 3 weeks ago, and now 3 days ago he posted another video and he still gets an audience. He has more than 3,000 subscribers. He started from scratch and he's doing extremely well. So big respect to this guy. If you're a Daniel Dalen copy, it's not a big issue. I understand, it's totally fine. I also wanted to be a Daniel Dalen copy. You'll have to grow up and move on to removing that POV from your title and removing that POV from your thumbnail, because sadly, sooner or later, you'll realize that the reason why people click on Daniel Dalen's video is not because of the POV. It's because of him and how he frames his videos. He's unique as a content creator. You can't really copy that. You have to find your own originality. In conclusion, don't copy Daniel Dalen. Don't put the POV in your title. Don't put that POV in your thumbnail, because it doesn't really matter. What people really want to watch is you. It's not Daniel Dalen. If you post a video, post yourself on it. Do you really need a POV? Definitely not.